Hey guys, so as you know, I've started a new project. I'm trying to kind of build a normal bodied guitar, sort of normal bodied. I'm doing it without all of the forms, jigs, clamps, all the stuff that a luthier really needs. So I was just trying some things just to see kind of what I could do with what I have. So I've been using like, 5-gallon buckets, paint cans, clamps, straps, steamers, etc. And actually pretty reasonably successful, as I'll show you here in a second. But I did run into some problems. Well, I'll just show you and I'll explain. So, as you can see, my, side walls or whatever, body sides, formed actually really well. Now, what you're looking at here is originally, so my thought was that because I'm using poplar instead of maple, which is also kind of not standard for an acoustic, okay? It's typically used, it can be used, I wouldn't say typically, it can be used for electric. Anyway, because it's softer, it's not great, whatever. Doesn't matter. This was more just an exercise in trying something, and I expect some failure. So here we go. So my intent was to groove it, partly because I have a plane I can use, but it won't get quite that thin, and I wanted it to be pretty thin. So this is about 1/16 of an inch thick, and so I used my saw blade or my table saw and did this, and pretty successful. Now my thought was that I would hopefully router these and turn them into my kerfing, but if you don't know what a kerfing is, you'll just have to look it up. But what they ended up doing was kind of chipping and breaking, and they were all different heights. So then I just went through and broke them all off, more or less. You can see there are still some there, which I'm actually going to leave in because I think it adds some strength and rigidity to the sidewalls, and because it is poplar. And then what I'm doing then is taking it, and I'm sorry, I haven't got the rest of the crap out of here since we redid the floor in our house, so I'm working around it, and some of those are things my daughters are taking. But anyway, so here I am trying to get the sides formed to my bottom, and struggling a little bit because I am only using what I have. The whole point of this exercise for me was not to create jigs, not to create to use bi-plywood that I have to cut up into forms and all this other crap. I really wanted to just see if I could do it with what I have. So here I am. And I think it's going to work. I did have to buy a heat gun. That was one thing I did need to purchase. Otherwise, I haven't purchased anything other than a piece of poplar so far. And the heat gun I only purchased because it was a replacement. The other one burned out twice, actually. I replaced the switch and then it burned out again. But this is it, and I'm in the process of adding kerfing, more or less. I'm not doing this to try to be a luthier, like some sort of high-end guitar. I'm just doing this to see what works and if I can make it work. And then what does it sound like and all that. It will not have an hourglass body. That was never the intent. I did intend for it to be a little bit rounder, but as I started making it, that seemed more difficult than worth it. So I just went to straight sides. So I'm going to finish up here, but that's kind of where I'm at. That's the project to date. I got to get this set and dried. It's still drying. I had some really weird super glue problems today. I was trying to use it to tack it in place and then go through and put my kerfing and stuff in. damn super glue would not dry. Absolutely would not dry, would not stick. I tried 2 different kinds, just wouldn't work. I then looked online and some people were like, you know, you got to spray it, or, you know, it could be too dry, whatever. I tried that. That actually did help. So apparently my wood was too dry for it, even though I've used it on wood before and never, ever, 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 ever had that problem. It was frustrating as hell, to be honest. But now I'm just in the process using this tape to sort of keep everything in the right shape vertically. And I have heated my corners, you know, and steamed them a little bit to try to get them working. You can see it's pretty thin in spots, so it's very, 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 you can see light through there. Because I had to chip this out, it's probably, geez, some spots are probably not very thick at all, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I could start over, but I'm not going to. I have another piece. But this is more about process. So the next time, what I'm going to do is before I bend anything, I will cut my kerfing in with the saw instead of trying to router it. And that should get rid of that problem. And then this actually sounds better thin, so I will probably take most of this support out. I'm not really sure yet, but I'll figure that out next time. But yeah, so I'm just trying to sort of solution this as I go. I'm not in a rush, and it doesn't matter if it, you know, sounds amazing or anything. I don't expect it to sound amazing. I expect it to sound better than my cigar boxes. That's pretty much my only expectation at this point. And I'm using Luan, which is not, you know, obviously not ideal for a bottom, but that's what it is. And and the reason it's not ideal is because it is softer, it is thicker, and so it'll probably eat sound a little bit. But I am going to coat it with some petrifier, which should help reflect back some sound to my surface soundboard. And I'm going to reshape the sides a little bit. I'm not sure how much. These are pretty tall. They're about 5 inches right now. Typical body is like 4.5. I intended to make them tapered, but I'm just not sure I'm going to do that. So there it is. So that's what's kind of happening. It's a lot, and you can't get it in a minute video. It's just not possible. So there you go.